We're live. Welcome, welcome. Another exciting episode, if I do say so myself.
Is it not like Groundhog Day?
I think when it's fabulous, it's okay that it's like Groundhog Day.
Right? Yeah.
What do you got going on today?
So, I live by never say never, right?
Okay.
Because when you say never, life always like proves you wrong.
Doesn't it
But
though?
so I live by never say never, but there's certain things like that I truly doubt that I will ever do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would never say I'm never going to jump out of an airplane. In my younger days, I used to want to, but now I'm like, probably not going to happen. And there's some other things in there, like,
I don't know if it's never or like I'm good, right? Like I'm good. We're done with that now.
but there was, this, I'm never going to do hot yoga. Like, I just don't do well in the heat. Why I live in Florida, it's a mystery to me.
Right? I mean, I always envision you as the freezing Wisconsinite.
Right. And, so even like my whole life, even when I was super young and very physically active, I didn't like going to any kind of, like, I didn't want to go to the gym because I like work out for 2 seconds and my face turns beet red. And everyone's like, are you okay? Should I
Are
call
you
911? It's like, no, I'm fine. It's just,
okay?
and like, I don't like being hot. I don't like being sweaty. And I don't want to do hot yoga. But anyway, this hot yoga studio opens up in my plaza here. And a lot of my best clients are yogis. Like, people who do yoga are people that like what I do for the body.
Sure.
Like, I need to meet these people. I need to network with them. But I don't want to do a hot yoga class. And I end up meeting one of the instructors, and he's like, just come. He's like, we have this class called Raja. You are going to love it. He's like, I promise you, you will like it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. But, okay, here's my opportunity. Here's my in the door. And this other friend of mine, Sarah, she's like, I want to go with you. So now I got a wingman, a wing girl,
Peer
a wing
pressure.
goddess. So anyway, so we plan that last Tuesday. It's an 11 o'clock class. I'm like, okay, it's perfect. I don't have any clients in the afternoon. Like, this is going to work fine. I'm going to go to the 11 o'clock Raja class.
And how long is it? Like an hour?
An hour.
An hour of heat. Oh my gosh.
But then on Sunday, like, my hip starts bothering me. I'm like, how am I going to do yoga with a hip that feels like this?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, like, I'm 55. So once in a while, most of the time they're completely in control. But like the past week or so, the hot flashes have been kicking in. And I'm going, awesome. I'm going to go sit in this hot yoga class and have a hot flash and spontaneously combust and die.
Burst into flames. Absolutely.
And then on top of it, a client books in at 1 o'clock. So I'm like, and I'm going to be all like stinky, sweaty when I see this patient. Perfect.
Right. Isn't it interesting all the layers that come up as soon like resistance, right? It just starts jumping out at you. Your body
like,
manifesting.
the universe gave me like 3 different excuses to use to not go to this class. And I said, you know what? I'm not having it. Like, no excuses. I committed to my friend. I committed to myself. I am going to this class. And I get there, and also as someone, like, true confession, I used to teach yoga way back like 20 years ago down in Miami.
Wow.
I did my Iyengar yoga teacher training. I used to sub for my instructor. I was like the yoga master. And,
Nice.
but flash forward, I haven't, owning a business and having all these things in my life, like yoga became history for me instead of
Sure.
present.
Sure.
And so anyway, but I get there, I enter the studio and I'm like, I can't even breathe. I'm not doing anything and I can't breathe. And I'm like,
Oh
what am I getting
God.
myself
Ah,
into? And I just, like I talked myself through, I'm like, just surrender, let it go. People do these classes all day, every day, and they don't die. So you're going
that's
to be
right.
fine.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, get through this class, an hour in the heat. Um, yeah, I sweated. Yeah, I was hot. And I felt so good afterwards
Did
that
you?
I'm going to go back again.
Oh my God. Talk, never say never really hit you hard, huh? Wow. It got you good. It wasn't just enjoyable. It was like I felt so good I'm going back.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, take me with you. I
I was
love
going to say,
heat.
I think you should come. You
Oh
might
my
like it too.
I love heat. One of my best experiences was I went to this like a day, gave myself a day at the spa, like in my 20s when I didn't really need a day at the spa. Now that I'm 49, I really need the day at the spa, but whatever. But it was a seaweed wrap. And what they would do is basically lay you down. I hate to say it, but like on an autopsy table, because you laid like in an actual body bag. And then they wrapped you up like in hot, wet towels that were like soaked in something fabulous, whatever, but then they would zip up this body bag up to here. And you're literally just weighed down with like the weight of all these hot, burning hot towels. And I was like, oh, I hope the first 7 layers of my skin comes off. This feels so good.
Oh, that like I'm not even there and my claustrophobia is kicking
I
in. Like,
love it. Like that's how I take my showers. Like I have to wipe the walls down after I take a shower because they get all streaked with the wall.
no, I take a lukewarm shower.
That's what my boyfriend does. He's like, it is it. He, I'll like touch the water that he bathes in, and I'm like, this is freezing cold. And he's like, I would not know. This is not refrigerator water. I'm like, I promise you, this is. I'm like, you are 1 degree short of an ice cube in here. But
All
he's,
right, I'm having a hot flash talking about all this heat. So let's
y'all
bring
can
our guest on.
sign me up for the heat. All right, it's on our list. Hello.
Stephanie.
Look, another
Hi.
purple queen.
I'm gonna say
Well,
I love that she wore purple. Like I think she did that just for me.
I
I love
did. I really did. Actually, I had you in mind. I was going to put on my Sekhmet necklace, but it's so heavy. I went for the scarf.
magic comes in
Segment
all
is
shapes and
heavy. It
sizes.
is.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's really nice to be here. I'm Stephanie Puente. I'm an acupuncturist with sound and color. I do a lot of sound treatments. I use gongs and singing bowls and drums, and my favorite instrument is my monolina. I have 4 of them. Um, they're for different parts of the body, so I'll go ahead and talk about chakras because I know you two completely understand that. But I have one for the upper chakras, the spirit, and then I have 3 for the lower chakras, the solar plexus, the root, and the sacral chakra. So whatever my client is going through, I will pick the appropriate monolina. They're handmade out of Germany. Um, they're gorgeous and beautiful, and they lay on top of the body. And when you strum it like a harp, it actually gives you a cellular massage
Ooh, that
because
sounds
it's
amazing.
vibrating into your cells. Julieta had the experience with me. We had some personal time without the tourist at the Great Sphinx, and I was able to play on the right paw, right next to it, of the Sphinx.
Wow.
And legend states that the Hall of Records from Atlantis lies under the right paw. And I kid you not when I say I saw a vision of the Hall of Records when I played that monolina. And it wasn't like Dead Sea Scrolls in a cave. It was a vault, very modern, very very Atlantis. So it
Wow.
was a wonderful experience. My clients love it, and they love the acupuncture. And I guess what I'm really passionate about right now with my acupuncture and my sound and my color is I'm helping people who are coming into this awareness of these frequencies that are coming into us and these shifts and energy that is coming towards us. And there are some people who are really okay with it. And what I like to say, as my last name Puente is bridge in Spanish. So I say I'm bridging the gap. And I help a lot of people just cross that bridge into an open state of mind and allowing them to look at life for joy, for, I want to say, guilt-free pleasure, that the things maybe some people think they should feel guilty about. No, enjoy your life. Living is about joy. So I think what I bring to the table for them and the part I bridge is how to get from this state of everybody tells you, no, 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 this is not right, this is da 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 da, blah, 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 this 5D reality, and helping them to just come into joy and to be happy and to embrace everything that they are and everything that they want to be.
So
I just want to
beautiful.
point out we have listeners from Italy right now.
Nice.
Ciao, Angelina. Angela, I mean. I was combining her last name and her first name there. It always blows my mind, like when we have listeners around the globe. And but I'm sure with Stephanie and I bring in all of this Egypt energy and bringing it all in from all over.
I don't know if you've talked about Egypt on your podcast, but I think my favorite moment was when we went to the Great Pyramid, and I had the wonderful, wonderful experience of being in Egypt with healers, a whole busload of people, Reiki masters, and then of course, our geologist, which was the biggest healer of all. I was shocked when she said she was a geologist. But we all took a moment to lay down in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber, and we stood around each other and we toned.
Wow.
And I have to say, I think that it was just one of those once in a lifetime moments. And it was so powerful and so beautiful. And I don't know if you read, Julieta, but Tom had said, he was a member on our trip. He had said that it wasn't a sarcophagus, it was actually a vortex to the Eye of Horus.
Well, I didn't hear him say that, but my experience when I laid in, I'd only calling it a sarcophagus.
Me
it's
neither.
like a giant bathtub. But when I laid in it, I like instantly left my body.
Me too.
And I didn't have awareness of where I went. I only remember leaving my body, and I remember coming back into my body. And when I was speaking with Mary, who's our tour guide afterwards, she was explaining that, back in the day, they were doing initiations there, and the initiate would actually lay in there. It is a portal to Orion. And I don't know if I'm getting the whole story straight, and maybe we'll Mary has been on the show before, so maybe we'll bring her back one day and she can correct all my errors. But she said like they would lie in that for 3 days. They would travel to Orion for 3 days to receive all of the trainings, the information that they needed. But Egypt itself, it is the throat chakra, I believe, of Earth. And so it is a giant, because all of our chakras are vortices.
Yeah, the throat chakra is about the spiritual. It's also in the Kabbalah called the long road, because as you ascend into your throat chakra, you're going to go through your whole history. But for me, when I lied down in the bathtub, I actually looked up and I was very present, but definitely in a different world. And I did see the eye of Horus come down inside of me. And that was a really incredible experience. The whole thing was incredible. But
So
I have brought those experiences back to me, with me, and they changed me. I feel all the better for it. And I feel that I want to go back for one. But I also feel that my clientele has benefited greatly.
well, that was going to be my question, was how do those experiences show up today? Like how has it changed how you work and with your clients, and how has it benefited your clients?
Well, the rudder of my ship steers much easier.
Mm.
So I can be in a very professional setting and be very professional. Um, I experienced a moment last week where I saw several people and talked to several people, and I could go from that professional, non spiritual doctor. And then, I had people come in and they wanted all of that, and I had that too. So it's given me experiences and abilities to shift in a moment's notice. So I don't have to play a role anymore. I'm more authentic. I love who I am. I love what happened there every single minute. Um, I don't watch the clock. My intention is to be inspired and inspiring. And I think mostly it really kicked in the law of attraction to bring me to the people who want to change. They see what's happening, they see our planet, they see our politics. Um, we don't even talk about that. So I think by raising my frequency, when I talked to Mary, I told her the hardest part was coming home. And when I came home, I cried a lot. And she goes, "You were in a fifth dimensional aspect in Egypt. And here you're back in the 3D world. And that's a really hard thing to do." So I think as the Schumann frequency rises, the earth frequency rises, and I watch it, and there's this word, it's called entrainment. And in physics, what it means is everything has to harmonize. If you take two cuckoo clocks, and let's say one's going this way and the other one's going this way, and you put them in a room and you close the door and you go back 48 hours later, they'll both be in the same direction. Because everything has to harmonize. And as our planet goes up in frequency, we have to harmonize with it. And for those people who don't, they're going to experience a lot of resistance and a lot of pain. And for those who are willing to shift and move forward and raise their frequency, I feel that's where I step in. And I'm not doing it for them. I'm just the bridge. I'm the facilitator. I'm not healing anybody. All my clients, whether they've had heart attacks, strokes, whatever it is, every person I look at, I see as completely perfect and where they are on their journey. And that's where they're supposed to be. And I'm just there to support them, to facilitate, to educate. And that's what I'm most passionate about.
I love that too, that you said that you're not healing your patients, because, I educate people that all the time, that I can't heal you. Only you can heal you. So I'm just here. I say I'm the tour guide on the journey of healing. And, if you're open to it, I can show you the way. And if you're not open to it, you're going to tell everybody that I'm terrible at my job. And that's fine. My feelings no longer get hurt. In the younger days, yeah, it would sting a little bit. I'm like, I'm just not good enough. But as we age and we understand, like, nobody can heal anybody. We can just show you the way. And if you're open at that moment, great healing can occur. But it is, all of your healing is limited by your openness to being healed. And I truly believe that everybody has the capacity to fully heal. It's just allowing it, getting out of our way and allowing it, which is the hardest thing there is.
100%.
100%.
Whew.
Well,
So
it's brought me a lot. So my newest thing that I've been focused on are tachyon particles. Um, they, well, for my Trekkie fans, they're what they use to beam people up and down from the ship to the planet. But the newest thing down here in Miami is the tachyon chambers that people are building, and I'm preparing to build one myself. But I do go to a place. It's called Lift Vida. It's a Pilates studio, and she has a tachyon chamber. And I go in there, and it just seems to make manifestation and your mind, your pain, your anxiety, everything. It just makes it better.
Can you
And
describe that? What exactly does that look like or feel like or
I guess I'll start with the physical and then I'll go into the mental and then the spiritual because we have three bodies. Physically, it's a copper triangle and it's got two plates. So there's dimension and depth in it. And the glass plates are inscribed with sacred geometry. And there are four globes and a table with a mat. And mentally, when you go in, you can feel the space change. Like you're definitely somewhere else. When you close the door, you're not where you just were. Spiritually, it intrigues the mind. It's subtle. But like homeopathic medicine, there's an energetic signature. You can't measure it. There's no tool that can measure it. But that energetic signature goes with you everywhere you go. And I plan on building a chamber in my own home. She has the galaxy chamber. There's Gaia, solar, galaxy, and universe. And basically, it's just more and more and more and more tachyons.
wow.
So I'm going to do the solar in my house because I think my clientele is not ready for galaxy. But I'm fortunate to be able to go and visit a galaxy chamber. It's very space age. It looks very space age. It feels great. Normally, when I meditate, because I do meditate on a daily basis, if things are really crazy, maybe twice a day. But when I meditated in there, normally things in meditation slow down, and you go into the stillness and the thoughts go away. Not in the tachyon chamber. It was just like you go along for the ride. You don't even try to understand it. You just go for the ride. And it's really beautiful. I think it's the newest and the oldest technology out there right now because tachyons have always been with us, but people are starting to discover and they're starting to find it. At one point, there was only one in Sonoma. Now, here in Florida, we've got three. So it's beautiful.
soon to be four.
Soon to be four. My house, is waiting. And it's very funny because I was having a salad and I'm urban acupuncture. So you can find me on Facebook, Urban Acupuncture, Instagram, The Urban Acupuncturist. My last name was Urban. But I was sitting having a salad outside and this big red pickup truck pulls up and it says Urban Solar. And it sits there the whole time. And I'm like, okay, that's a message. And then I had gone to the tachyon chamber, and then I went and looked it up online, and they had the solar. So even though I want the galaxy, I really feel that pickup truck was telling me, start with the solar. So
Messages come to us from everywhere.
every direction.
One of our favorite places to find messages is in books. And Graciela and I are creating the Goddess Library. And so we would like to know, what book do you think everyone should read that we should include in our library?
Well, I thought about this question, and where I am right now with you, Julietta, being in Egypt. I went to Egypt because of this book, or because I was supposed to, and the book helped me along the way. The book is Anna by Claire Hartstrong. So I'm a part of the Search for God ARE group. And Claire Hartstrong, although she did not directly state it, she referenced it. But Anna is the grandmother of Jesus. And she writes about the Essene Jews and the life of Jesus. And he actually initiated in the Great Pyramid before the crucifixion. And he knew his whole life that that was his destiny, and that he would forgive humanity's sins by making that sacrifice. But he was a light worker. And it talks about him as a light worker, and it talks about him and Mary Magdalene as his wife. And in the Last Supper, the person sitting next to him is Mary Magdalene. And it's a beautiful story. And Mary sat in the queen's chamber, he sat in the king's chamber, and they had no lights back then. So it was complete darkness. And they sat there and meditated in the Great Pyramid before the Last Supper. So this book is so delightful, so easy to read, and such a beautiful perspective on what I like to say, our brother, because he is our brother. And going to Egypt and knowing about Isis, Horus, Osiris, Ramses, and you can see that legend play out over and over again through different cultures, different religions. And it's really beautiful. And that's why I went, because I know he had been there and I wanted to be where he was. And I'm not a religious fanatic. I don't even go to church, which I should. But, I am part of the ARE and Search for God, and he is my brother. And every day when I meditate, I light the candles to the Father, to the Son, to the Holy Ghost, and also to the Divine Mother, because she is a goddess, and I am a goddess, and I have to recognize that women are divine, and they are to be worshipped and loved, and we create life by choice or not by choice. And we are always in service or of service. I don't want to say in service, but of service to others. And much of my clientele is women. So Anna is by Claire Hartstrong is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful read.
Julietta and I always laugh because we keep thinking like, oh, we're going to get rid of this question because we've, asked the same question for 100 years. But every time we ask, there's always a new book and a new experience and a new passion for something that hasn't been on this show before. So thank you for sharing that, because that I have never heard of that. So that's really exciting to have something new on there. You sound so well versed in everything that you're passionate about. And we're constantly talking about how even when it feels like you've made it, it's just a plateau, right? And so that you can start climbing again to the next thing. So what's your next thing? Like, help us show people that even when you think you've got it all figured out, that there's yet another, genius space to step into, if you will.
Well, I did already say it. I started with light. We're doing a past life regression here at my house on Friday. We're not charging for it because it's sacred. I have done this before, and I know I've worked with light in many lifetimes. And then I moved to sound. And I love sound because it's a dense vibration that you can feel in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. And whatever energetic, static energy you're holding on to, it will dissolve it. And that's my gong is a Venus gong. Venus is the planet of love. Everything I work with is usually in the F range for the heart. And I'm so happy there. I could learn for a lifetime. But what I'm stepping forward into are the tachyon particles to understand them more. They're doing something to me that feels like Egypt. It's life changing, and people ask me to describe it. I can't describe what happens when you're in a tachyon chamber because it happens for days. It's like when I went to Egypt, Egypt came with me. When I step out of a chamber, those tachyons, they're still calling, they're still present. They've entered my energetic body and my spirituality. And I think it was really good for me because my energy felt a little static. I had a holistic center. Um, with the hiring crisis and the rising rents, I had to move into my house, which feels great because my house is split in half and I have 3 rooms that are separate from the house, and I love it. And I feel very safe in my space. And but the transition from creating something so beautiful, because it was so beautiful. I have a knack for that. I love beauty. I love femininity. I love it. I love extravagance, and I enjoy abundance and wealth. All those things are great for me. And, but all the memories and stepping away, the word sacrifice came to mind, and that transition is closing. And I know that when you take something out of your system, you create a vacuum and you're going to attract something even better. And so the tachyons are what I'm attracting, and they are fulfilling the loss of what I sacrificed. So for me, it's beautiful, and I've embraced every second of it. The loss, the beauty, the joy, the gain, it's all part of the same picture.
Nice. I can't wait to experience this whenever you have it ready to go.
So expensive. So yes, it'll be ready soon. My law of
Nice.
attraction is definitely calling.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, we're getting to wrap up time, but what we'd like to know is what parting thought would you like to leave for our audience as a gift?
My parting thought to all of you is to understand that everything is energy. And even if things are not going the way you thought they would, to understand that that can be a gift, because right around the corner there's something more beautiful. So if you can keep your frequency high, the law of attraction will state that what you attract towards you in that frequency will be beautiful. So never sink into the depths of a low frequency. You don't want to attract that. So even if it's tough, understand right around the corner, right around the corner, there's something beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's been an absolute gift listening to you. I so appreciate everything you've said.
And I really appreciate your opportunity for me to say it. Thank you.
All righty, fellas. What was that?
Fellow listeners.
There we go. Well, anyway, I was just going to say, I think this is a wrap. It's been a magical show. I think I've semi-shifted into another dimension, which is making it difficult to communicate in this 3D language.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. It was a really nice time. I don't know how to wrap it up, so I'll let you guys kick me off.